having me here, whoever got that in place. I appreciate this opportunity to partake in the releasing of Sikh Heritage, Ethos and Relics. And the first thing you feel is that it is gorgeous. Its physical looks are gorgeous. And my congratulations to Mr. Mehra for producing such a lovely book. And it's a matter of pride that book production in Delhi can compete with any part of the world. Roopinder ji's brief was that I should talk about 3 issues: introducing the authors, introduce the book, and then the setting of the book. In a way, try to locate it in the larger scheme of things. And Bhayee Sahib gave me 8 to 10 minutes, so I will take 9 minutes. 3 minutes on each of these issues. So as for the introduction of the authors, I am sure most of us know that Bhayee Sahib's family association with Sikh history goes back to 1600. As a result, he grew up in an environment which was soaked in historical and sacred Sikh symbols. I visited his family establishment in 1990, and 2 memories are just etched in my system. One was that the heart of the family establishment was the langar, and that langar is 24/7, the contemporary translation of Atut Langar. And the second thing was that in their family Gurdwara, there was a lovely little note. And that note said, "Ithe sir chukda hai, paise nahi ditte jande." And I just can't forget it. And I'll return to these details. Moving on to Roopinder ji, you all know, he's an eminent journalist who has done great service to the global Punjabi community by creating the internet version of the Tribune. And he's also a writer of eminence. His range is from Guru Nanak to Air Marshal Arjun Singh, and that is impressive. But what some of you may not know, that he is son of Gyani Gurditt Singh, is the leading scholar of early Sikh manuscripts. And why is that important? That every time I had the opportunity to sit on their dining table, the conversation one way or the other returned to the manuscripts. So be it the Goindwal Pothis or Guru Har Sahai Pothi, that is the environment, that is the context in which Roopinder ji grew up. I have no time to elaborate on the unique preparation of these 2 authors to work on the subject of Sikh heritage, but please bear with me when I claim that the family environment of these 2 gentlemen provided them the opportunity to imbibe what is best in Sikh thinking. And furthermore, they developed an approach which was open-minded and sensible. And that reflects in the book. Having been founded in the early 1500s, the Sikhs have a large repository of texts, artifacts, and sites on which Sikh history can be built. And these 2 gentlemen have created a pictorial narrative that captures the detail of Sikh history of the past 5 centuries. In my humble judgment, this new book is a major academic achievement which will secure its authors a place of respect in the field of Sikh studies. And it will keep scholars interested in these issues busy for a number of years to come. I wish I had the time for a detailed analysis, but I don't. So I'll just quickly look at the first 4 pages. So what do you have? You have the title pages there, and then we move on to the page with a picture of Guru Har Gobind, and then there is a picture of the 10 Gurus and symbol of Deg Teg Fateh. So I'll just quickly comment on these 4 pages. The painting of Guru Har Gobind on the title page is the first in this chronology, produced somewhere around the 1620s. So I'll just say something about that. We have known this picture and the set of pictures to which it belongs, but the prominence with which this is presented in this book is significant. Let me explain. The availability of this painting here calls for a revisiting of the received wisdom of the past generation, that the portraits of the Gurus were created only after their death. That was the sort of judgment prevalent in the previous generation, that there are no contemporary portraits of the Gurus. For me, there is no doubt that this particular portrait of Guru Har Gobind was created during his lifetime, and the evidence I have is that Bhai Gurdas calls him Guru Pari, heavily built Guru. We have references to his turban in Natha's War, Pag Teri Ki Jahangir Di, and then we have a story in Gurbalas Patshai Chemi, which talks about a Musawwar coming to Amritsar and creating the portrait of the 6th Guru. If this claim that portrait of the Gurus had begun to be made in the opening decade of the 17th century has some truth, then the set of painting that appears in the new book need to be incorporated in our discussion of this particular period. There are more than, I think there are 5 or 6 paintings of this set. The information enshrined in these paintings would help us understand the role of the Guru as the overseer of Sikh interest in the areas of Deen and Dunya. The phrase you may be familiar with is Miri and Piri. They also point to the possibility that painters were present in the Sikh Darbar from the 1600 onwards, and the portraits of the later Gurus should also be brought to bear on our understanding of their respective periods. Finally, this discussion has implications for Sikh understanding of the portraits created by painters, beginning with Sobha Singh, Amolak Singh, and many others. So when we have a real portrait created during the Guru's time, then how should that relate to the later Sikh artistic imagination? And how the Sikhs are going to make use of these early portraits. In other words, the book being released this afternoon is no run-of-the-mill coffee table book, but the title page alone would contribute toward helping scholars reorient the current understanding of the nature of sources available to write early Sikh history. This is an extremely important work, and I don't have time to go into the details. This is true of what appears later. And finally, moving on to the location of this work in the history of Sikh scholarship, the first landmark study of Sikh heritage appeared in the form of Tara Singh Narottam's Guru Tirath Sangrah, published in 1884. Narottam visited Sikh sacred sites and collected information about their history, as well as meticulously catalogued the artifacts preserved there. The ancestors of Maharaja Amrinder Singh of Patiala supported Narottam's extensive travels and the writing of his book. And then that chain continued, and this is the sort of the latest link in that. Now let us return to the 4 pictures I referred to earlier. The picture which is there on the backdrop, Guru Har Gobind's picture, the picture of the 10 gurus, and the symbol of Deg Teg Fateh. So we're just dealing with the opening 4 pages. I don't have time to go into the contents of the book. And what is important about these 4 pictures here, 2 of these objects are in the Punjab and the other 2 are in the United States. So in the very sort of opening gathering of the book, this is a technical language of manuscripts. The first 4 pages reflect the fact that Sikh heritage is now spread around the globe. And why is it? Because the Sikhs constitute a global Sikh community. And furthermore, sort of just to support that, the initiative of this book came from the United States. Dr. Chatta, the Chattas and the Nandras, I have the honor to say them my great friends and patrons of the work I do. They supported this initiative. So, Sikh heritage, when we are thinking of it now, it is part of the global Sikh community, and we need to keep that in mind. Just to conclude, I probably have 30 seconds. But just thinking of, I have the impression that 500 years ago, Baba Nanak passed through this great city, the city of Delhi, the pre-Mughal Delhi. And he probably had the chance to meet some members of the political elite. And I was wondering this morning, did he ever imagine that his Namlevas, the followers of what he was trying to create, would be sitting here 500 years down the road, representing the local political and cultural elite, needless to say. I don't know. I don't think Mardana ever thought of asking him the question, "Hey Babaji, ki hoega?" But nonetheless, the fact stands that exactly 500 years down the road, we are sitting here in the great city of Delhi talking about what the predecessors did. With that, thank you very much. My time is up.